expansion draft is done. Mm-hmm. What were your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts were, the show itself was kind of crummy. The hosts were a little awkward and kind of annoying. I like the guests they brought in, though, seeing Gary Payton, Marshawn Lynch, guys like that.
Sean Kemp, wish he had a bigger shirt.
Yes, it was interesting.
Did that man dirty.
I could see his belly button. But for the draft itself, based off the guys who they got, I felt, for the most part, Ron Francis was very responsible.
Yeah.
He didn't take big contracts, at least not a lot of them. The only contract I personally don't like and I've never been a fan of is the Brandon Tanev contract.
But you can't harp on the player.
No.
He's definitely a valuable player,
of course.
He's always going to be put under a microscope with a contract like that.
Then like Giordano, just because of the age.
Yeah.
I mean, at his current age, he plays up to that contract, but you just never know.
Yeah.
So those were the only picks I could really poke at.
Yeah.
In terms of being irresponsible. I was surprised to see, like, in our mock draft, we originally had Morgan Geekie, but we thought Jake Bean would have been the better selection. So something like that was interesting. I thought they would have gone with more goalies, right? Because it seemed like they were going to control the goalie market. But outside of that, I feel like they were pretty good. Curtis McDermott was interesting to me.
I didn't expect that one.
Yeah, I thought Brandon Lemieux would have been a good pick out of LA.
Yeah.
Ottawa, I don't know if I'm high on Chris Tierney, but seeing Joey Decord there is another one that surprised me a bit. Carson Twarynski out of Philadelphia, I feel like they could have gotten more there.
That was Dave Haxtell's pick. It had to have been.
Yeah. And again, a lot of safe picks. It looks like they're going to form their identity as they put these guys together.
Yeah.
It looks like they're going for chemistry, and then they're going to get bigger building blocks. Because, again, not a lot of big names here, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Start from the ground up, start with a solid base, and then you can get your top-tier players.
Well, that's what Vegas did.
Yep, exactly, and it's worked out pretty well for them. They created that culture, and they've built on it since.
Yeah.
Now, Mark Bergevin completely finessed Ron Francis.
Yes.
Like, there were talks Price may be out for the entire season.
Yeah.
That's what we speculated. 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks. And he said it so nonchalantly today. Yeah, it's nothing major.
Yeah.
6 to 8 weeks.
So
he's going to be back for training camp.
It's probably a little upset there, but he had to be safe with his pick. He didn't know what the injury was looking like. I wasn't surprised because we heard the talks.
Yeah.
Another thing, Frank Saravelli did his job, but it was so annoying to know 26 out of 30 picks.
And it wasn't just him. There were a lot of analysts. He was the guy kind of leading the charge. Mm-hmm. It was, and it's not his fault. I mean, the NHL really should have what the NFL has. And when it comes to the draft or anything like that, they have an agreement that the media cannot reveal or break anything before the pick happens. They can do whatever they want after the pick, but they can't do it because it just, I'm sure Gary Bettman was not pleased because I'm sure ratings weren't as high for this one because when you know 26 out of the 30 picks, why are you going to tune in? I'll just find out the 4 picks on my phone later. So
but all that to say is we knew Adam Larson was going to Seattle, although it seemed like he'd worked things out with Edmonton. They were offering him 3x9 for 4 years. Seattle gives him a 4 for 4 years. So just a little bit of a raise there, and a new change of scenery for him, which is good after all the Taylor Hall comparisons. It doesn't look like a good trade despite him being a fantastic defender. Yeah. He's just not that Taylor Hall replacement, which he shouldn't be expected to be. Yeah. A big contract for Jamie Alexiak, I feel. Yeah. $4.6 million for the next 5 years. Yeah. He has a lot of potential. He has a lot of room to grow. He's a big defender. Yeah. It's just, it's a smidge risky.
Yeah, I think because of his size, he just plays a game that no one really knows how to gauge success on it. Because he's great at what he does.
But that's the issue for me, is it's kind of like Jeff Skinner, where it seems every other year at least before coming to Buffalo, he
Yeah.
would have a good season. So you don't know how to evaluate this guy.
Which in this case, it's concerning because he's coming off of a good year with Dallas this year.
Yeah.
So
We'll see how it all plays out. As you saw with Vegas, a lot of these guys stepped up into big roles.
yeah,
And it looks like they're believing in Jamie Alexiak to do the same. So we'll see how that all plays out.
yep,
Chris Drieger signs 3.5 for the next 3 years. Great contract, I think.
yeah,
Of course, you never know because he was with a deep goalie core in Florida. You have
Yeah.
Bob, you have Spencer Knight. So you're not too sure what to make of him being on his own now. He's the
Yeah.
main guy.
yeah. He's it. I'm a little concerned with just the fact, he is inexperienced when it comes to other goalies that were on the free agent market when it comes to games played at the NHL level.
Yeah.
Although the games he did play, he was fantastic.
It could be a Matt Murray situation.
I definitely could see them going after, not saying they're going to get him, but I think they're going to hold talks with guys like Freddie Anderson.
Yep.
Just to gauge what the market's at. Maybe sign one of them.
Yeah. It'll be tough because you have Vanacek in his last year.
Yeah.
So you don't want to upset him. I think it would be good to have these guys platoon, but doesn't mean you don't check out the market, see what's going on.
And it all depends on how quickly they want to win. Because if you're going after Freddie Anderson, it's really a win-now situation in a very weak Pacific Division.
But even then, like with the injuries, Vanacek still may be the better option.
Yeah.
Just in that situation.
Yeah.
Anyways, Jared McCann,
The
picked.
sacrificial lamb.
Another finesse job by Kyle Dubas.
He saved Kerfoot.
Yeah, what he essentially did was he knew that Francis wanted both McCann and Kerfoot, so he swept up McCann from Pittsburgh, and now Francis can only take one. He chose Jared McCann, which I agree with. Cheaper contract, less term, so you can see what's going on there.
And he didn't give up much to do it.
No.
He gave up a seventh rounder
and
and a
future, maybe third liner, bottom six forward.
Yeah.
We'll see what comes of that.
Yep.
They also drafted Pitlick to trade him to Calgary, and you'll see more of that. They have a lot of players that do similar things.
Yeah.
So it's good to get these moves out of the way so you have an idea of what you're going into for
Yep.
the 2022 season. They won't have Yanni Gord to start for at least the first 2 months, it looks like. He's out
Yeah.
for 4 months total, starting
Yeah.
from today's date. So
mid-November is when they're thinking
Yeah.
he can make his return, make his debut
Yep.
for Seattle. So
But lastly, they have a lot of cap space, so they will be
a lot
free
of
agent
cap
players.
space.
Again, they'll continue to build this team, build some cohesion. We'll
Yep.
see what they do next. I'm not sure if that means this free agency, they're going to make a lot of moves or any major moves.
Yeah.
Because you just never know, right? You don't want to build to something and get stuck with a system that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So it may not be until the 2023 season we see some major moves. But
Yep.
their depth chart for forwards looks a little thin, right? They, in my opinion, in Yanni Gord, Jared McCann, Yarncrow, Eberle, and Donskoy are probably their only top six forwards.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be good to get another one. Bottom six, though, they have all sorts of options with Tanev, Appleton, and then a bunch of guys who can step up.
Yep.
Those are your guys you're going to have in for sure. I'm not sure who else will get some roles. I'm interested to see what Twarynski does.
Yeah.
He's the most intriguing for me. Not to say that he's who I'm most excited about, but
Yeah.
it's interesting, an interesting pick. So I'm wanting to see what they saw in him because I don't yet. Defense, most of their team are left shot defensemen.
Yeah.
So they're very deep there. I'm not sure if they make a trade for a right shot. They have, in my opinion, 7-8 guys that should be in the show. So I can see them trading away one. And again, Mark Giordano, Vince Dunn, Alexiak, Hayden Fleury. So on defense, they have a lot of left shot defensemen. Enough to make up a D-core. You have Giordano, Dunn, Alexiak, Fleury, Susi, and Chalowski. Then you have Larson on top of that, who are all guys, 7 guys I feel should be in a top 6. I can see them trading out one to give guys like Fleury, Lauzon, McDermott, Bayreuther, and Borgen a chance to see what they can do. But of course, you need guys in your minors. And the team they drafted, not all these guys are going to stay. Not all these guys are going to sign.
Yeah.
And we already talked about goalies a bit. You got Drieger, Vanacek, and Decord. We'll see what they make of that. That's a good the top 3 in net if somebody gets injured, Decord can step up. I would like to see a little bit of a stronger option. So I think their third goalie is what they should target.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And with that, that'll do it for our expansion draft reaction. If you like the video, give it a like, subscribe so you don't miss any of our other uploads. Comment down below what your thoughts of the expansion draft were. You know, did you agree with the picks? Did you not? Let us know. And with that, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.